Hi folks, as we close in on the end of the semester, I'd like to share a few revision strategies with you. The first is called stasis theory. Developed in classical Greece, stasis theory is a cornerstone of rhetorical argument and revision, albeit a cornerstone not often examined explicitly in first and second semester composition classes. Stasis theory begins with the presumption that an argument can only be resolved if the audience and the author agree about what sort of argument they are having. That is, we must meet at a place, or stasis, before we can move on. For instance, if I want to present the argument that a solution to global warming is more solar panels, I have first to ensure that my audience agrees that global warming is happening and should be addressed. If my audience doesn't accept those assumptions, my argument is going nowhere. At its core, stasis theory proceeds from the axiom that there are different levels of abstraction in an argument, and that we can't meaningfully conduct a more theoretical debate until we agree on the more fundamental parts. How many level of arguments or stases one considers depends on the complexity of stasis theory to which one subscribes. I think a good starting place is to consider 4 stases. These are 1. Fact. The stasis of fact focuses on establishing what happened, and that what happened poses or does not pose a problem. If we return to our example of global warming, the stasis would require us to accept that the climate has been getting warmer, and that this warming is a significant problem. 2. Definition. The stasis of definition focuses on determining what sort of thing we have. In our example, we'd have to determine whether this problem of global warming is a human-caused problem or a natural cycle. Definition also includes thinking about the parts of the argument. 3. Quality. The stasis of quality has to do with how serious the problem is, who it might affect, and the costs of solving it or of not solving it. If we go back to our example, we might wonder how widespread and how destructive global warming would be, who is likely to suffer the most severe effects, and what it would take to solve it, as well as what happens if we don't address the problem. 4. Policy. The stasis of policy has to do with what actions we should take to solve the problem. To return to our example, this is a question of how we should fix the problem of global warming. Thinking about stasis is useful when drafting an essay, and it is also a handy way to approach revision. If you use stasis to guide your revision, the process becomes an investigation of the elements of your chosen stasis to make sure that you've already established the fundamental points. Or it becomes a process of changing stasis altogether. I hope you found this stasis theory useful as you think about drafting and revising essays. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have a good one.